Racing to the 2020 Breeders' Cup, and this time let's take a look at the Juvenile. This race is shaping up as a 9 to 10 horse field, and there's some interesting contenders. What I like about this race every year is you usually get the best of the East, the Midwest, and the West Coast when you get the American Pharoah winner, the Breeders' Futurity winner, and the Champagne Stakes. And for the first time, we're going to take a look at the 2-year-old crop as they start to progress with their speed figures. And I want to take a look first off at a lot of times people, when they look at speed figures in juvenile horses, it's a little bit different than when you're looking at an older horse, because you got to take the context of when they debuted and how old they are, and then that will kind of work forward towards where they're going to progress with some of their speed figures. So in this example, you've got a horse like Reinvestment Risk, and he debuted with a speed figure of 96. Now that was one of the more impressive performances of the Saratoga meet. Meanwhile, Jackie's Warrior, he debuted with an 89, but when you look at that, he debuted on June 19th. So an extra month of development for Reinvestment Risk. That is why his number is a little bit higher, or at least helps explain why his number was a little bit higher in his debut. Then you take a horse like Essential Quality. He came up with an 84. He did that in early September and then moved forward off that in his second start running in the Breeders' Futurity. So I always take a look when you're looking at 2-year-olds and as they start to progress to 3-year-olds, when did they make that debut? And then for some of those late foals, the April and May foals, I want to take a look at their career debut speed figure, because a lot of times you can see improvement, dramatically improvement in their second and third starts. Then what I like to do, you saw we did this for the Kentucky Derby contenders, is take a look at the speed figure progression. And what we're trying to do here is you plot out where they're going to move forward in their speed figure progression. Again, it's not so much what their number is. A horse like Maximum Security or Improbable, they may run a new lifetime top in the Breeders' Cup Classic, but they're not going to see a 10 or 15 point improvement, and you will see that in juvenile horses. So in this example, you've got a horse like Jackie's Warrior, where he started out with an 89, then he bumped it up to a 97. He kind of paired that in his third lifetime start at the Hopeful, and then moved forward off that in the Champagne Stakes. So there's a horse where he does not need to improve to win this race, but I'm not sure as a 2-year-old if you really want him to pop forward with another movement, because once they start getting to that 103, 104 territory as a juvenile, there just isn't much to them. I mean, unless they're just a superstar, to get them up to that 110, 111 level to debut into their 3-year-old season. So Jackie's Warrior going to stretch out to 2 turns for the first time. Then you've got a horse like Likeable, where he jumped up from that 80 to an 88 in his second lifetime start. That was a nice little improvement. And then also a horse like Rombauer. He made the move from turf to dirt and then stretched out, and then he picked up that 89 Brisnet speed figure. And then even a horse like Sitting on a Go, he went from a 69 to a 90 in his second lifetime start. And you won't see that in the older horses, very rarely anyways. So that's where handicapping some of the 2-year-olds and watching them develop, that's how I like to watch them progress, especially as they turn into 3-year-olds. Now again, I always look at the number of days between starts. Now this didn't used to be such a big factor 15 years ago, even up to 10 years ago, but now when these horses are really racing by appointment only, and there isn't as much prepping. People talk about prepping, but a lot of these good horses, they just go straight from one victory to another victory to another victory. They really don't have their form cycles. They either run good races, and then when they don't run a good race, they either rest them up or they retire them. So when you look at Essential Quality, he had 28 days between his first start and his second start. And Jackie's Warrior, what I like about his pattern, he had 49 days off that fast debut speed figure, which again was accomplished late in June. So he needed that time off to really progress and develop off that speed figure. Then he had 31 days off into the Hopeful, and then 33 into the Champagne. Now he's going to be cutting right around that same amount of time coming into the Breeders' Cup. And then you got a horse like Rombauer, who made that big improvement, but he did it off a 19-day gap and is sitting. You know, I think a horse like Upstriker may have a little bit of upside if he decides to run in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, and even a horse like Essential Quality has further room for improvement in his third lifetime start. So just a little bit of points to ponder as you start to look at the Juvenile race. Remember, hit that like button, hit subscribe, share this video with the horse racing friends. I got a new video camera. Leave a comment if you like the new camera, or smash that like button. And also, we got to look at the Breeders' Cup Classic pace. That went up yesterday. Take a look at that as we lead you up to the 2020 Breeders' Cup.